That's it.
Good evening. Thank you everyone for being here and attending our school board question and answer for our two candidates, Dusty and Heather. I wanted to say, we want to say thank you to Winfrey Bryant Middle School for being a gracious host to this event. We'd like to inform you that the public event is being streamed by Mainstream Media Tennessee, and they can watch it at mainstreammediatv.com. Thank you to our SRO, Michael Randolph, for helping us out with security. Thank you to all the volunteers that put time and effort to make this event a reality. My name's David Paris. I'll be your moderator for this event. I'm the president of Lebanon Youth Football and Cheer here in Lebanon. I've been in Lebanon for a long time. The school board's obviously as important to me as it is to everyone here. The questionnaire that we're going to be asking tonight was compiled with questions from the Wilson County community through various social media sources, including parent Facebook groups, and from the emails received from the teachers and staff from the district. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves and provide a brief statement. Questions will follow with both candidates answering unless specified for one candidate. The order of answering will alternate. Each candidate has 2 minutes to answer each question. A timer will be used. Follow-up questions are allowed with 1 minute given for responses. The event is a forum, not a debate, so responses should avoid being argumentative or derogatory. Candidates, do you have any questions? Dusty, I'll let you go first. I'll introduce.
All right, I'm Dusty Jones, lifelong resident of Wilson County and here in Lebanon, 44 years old. I'm married to my wife, Julie, back there in the back. I've got 2 kids, Caden, who's a freshman at Lebanon High School, and I've got a daughter at Walter J. Baird Middle School. I'm also an unapologetic Christian, believe in God to the fullest, but I will not push my views on anyone. That's just my religion. So I just thought I would put that out there. We all want what's best for our school system, and I'll bring that without any drama or chaos to the system. I went to LSSD schools my whole life. My wife went to LSSD schools. My kids have been in the school system the whole time. For my job, I'm Assistant Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Lebanon. I've been there for 28 years. So some of you may not know my job entitles me to work with the children and parents of the community. That's all we do. We're quality of life for the kids. We run sports programs. We take care of your community parks. We work with the school systems on occasion. So we have a good relationship. We work with the Beth Petty and her group. We delivered food and stuff during the COVID era to help the school system. They bring the neon bus out there to our parks and stuff to feed the kids and stuff during the summer. So I have a good relationship. I've been in the schools, and kids is what I love. I've always had a passion for kids, and that's what I want to continue to do and give back to my community. Lebanon's a special place to me, always has been and always will be. I always take Lebanon to heart, especially to some of the other cities around here. I always put Lebanon on the map first. It's just very important to me. I attended Cumberland University. After I graduated from Lebanon High School, I attended Cumberland, went there for a couple years, and then I went on to CLI, which is a Continual Learning Institute, and got my degree in real estate. So I have that, and then like I said, I'm the Assistant Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Lebanon. The reason I'm running is to protect our kids, teachers, and staff, and be a new voice for our parents. Safety is very important to me. Whatever we have to come up with to protect our kids, because our kids cannot learn if they don't feel safe at school. That's first and foremost, and the teachers have to feel safe and secure. So that's number one. Education is second, and that's ensuring that each student is academically challenged to achieve his or her ultimate potential, as well as being occupied with life and social skills needed to be successful in his or her chosen career path, and to have personal relationships as a priority. LSSD, their motto is a community of excellence, and I wanted to withhold of that. Keep that up, because it don't just take me. This is not about me. This election has nothing to do with me. It's all about our children, teachers, parents, and staff. Okay, and then I want to continue with the teacher raises, and we'll talk more about that later. And just remember, every kid is not loved like you may love your kid out there. Okay, we got to love on all the kids. I don't care where the kid's from. We got to love on them all at the end of the day. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Dusty. Heather?
My name is Heather Sadler Gallaher, and I have lived in Lebanon since 2006. I am the proud wife of Chris Gallaher, who's here tonight, and I have a blended family. I have a 21-year-old U.S. Marine who is in Bahrain right now. I have a 19-year-old that's a freshman at UTK. Go Vols. And then I have a third and a first grader at Castle Heights Elementary. So I have been a widowed mom. My husband died when my girls were 2 and 4. So I have the honor to be a blended family mom. And that perspective has brought a whole lot on me, being a single mom and also being a blended family mom. So I graduated in 2003 from the University of Tennessee at Martin with a degree in communications. I spent 7 years in the newspaper industry, and that's what brought me to Lebanon in 2006. Then I had the chance to move to healthcare administration. I've spent the last 15 years in assisted living and nursing homes, and now I work for High Point Hospice. It's actually the hospice company I use with my late husband, and I cover Smith, Trousdale, Macon, and of course Wilson County with hospice. It's been a true calling and a passion of mine to be able to share a difficult time with some patients that need us. So that's what I do for a living besides being a mom. I chose Lebanon. Lebanon chose me. Like I said, I've been here since 2006, and this is home. This is where we want to raise our family. This is where we planted our roots. I'm running because I care about our community. I came from a family that was always active in their community, and I want to do that too. I want to be active in the school system because I do have a vested interest. I do have a first and third grader, and I think that a mom brings a different perspective. I think I have a lot of grace and love to show. And with my experience in senior living, and I've done a lot of policies and procedures, as you can imagine, in long-term care, especially during COVID. So I've done a lot of policies and procedures and wrote manuals and those type of things. So that's, my heart is I want to be a servant. I want to do what's right for our children. I want to do what's right for our community. And I think I can add that to our school board.
Thank you, Heather. Heather, the first question will go, well, you'll be able to answer first. How long have you lived in Wilson County? Did you attend public school in Wilson County and or Lebanon Special School District? You'll have 2 minutes to answer.
I've lived in Wilson County since 2006. Unfortunately, my mother died a month before I moved here in 2006, and then my dad came to visit me, and he died while he was visiting me up here. He had an aneurysm. Very freak thing. So I lost both of my parents within 4 months. I grew up in Milan, Tennessee, at Milan Special School District. So at heart, I'm a bulldog. But Lebanon became home when you go through that kind of trauma where you are. It becomes home. And I went through some grief, of course, with all that. I say all that to say is I didn't grow up here, but I chose to live here. And I would choose it all over again. There's people in the audience that have been with me since day one and supporters. And so I did not attend Wilson County schools, but I did attend Milan Special School District.
Thank you, Heather. Dusty, how long have you lived in Wilson County? Did you attend public school in Wilson County and or Lebanon Special School District?
Yeah, I think I've pretty much told you I was born and raised here. I've been here since 1979, so I'm 44 years old. I attended Byers Dowdy Elementary, and then I went to Walter J. Baird after that, and then I went on to Lebanon High School. So yeah, I've attended it all, been here, been involved in the school system, and had some of the best times of my life during those times. Byers Dowdy was always a fun school to go to, and we really had a good time with the people involved and doing different things, and school was really fun then. And then I went to Walter J. Baird and went through there. Then I went to Lebanon High School, played baseball at Lebanon High School, and enjoyed a 4-year baseball varsity career there. So yeah, I've been involved in all the schools, and my wife, she's here too. She went to Byers Dowdy, and then they built Coles Ferry, and she went to Coles Ferry, and then she also went to Walter J. Baird, and also went on to Lebanon High School, and then she went on to Cumberland, and where she got a nursing degree at Cumberland. So we're lifelong residents of Wilson County. Continue to be our home. We love this place, and we want to see what's best for Lebanon and Wilson County.
Thank you. Dusty, have you ever worked for the public school system in any capacity, including Lebanon Special School District or in Wilson County schools? If so, in what role and for how long? If yes, what did you learn from that experience? If no, have you spent time observing in the classroom and or talking candidly with teachers and admin who have had experience in the public school system?
As far as working for the system, I wouldn't call it working for the system. I'm currently the volunteer baseball coach at Walter J. Baird now. I'm not getting paid to do that. It's something I volunteer to give back. Actually, 20 years ago, I started the baseball program at Walter J. Baird Baseball. Baseball and softball was not in the middle schools like it is now, but 20 years ago, I started that, and I coached there for 3 years on a voluntary basis. Didn't get paid anything, just trying to give back and get the kids involved in sports and all that type of stuff in the middle schools. So I did do that then. As a coach, I do go into school. I do walk around and check my players and see what they're up to. I talk to the teachers. I'm always talking to the athletic director or other coaches to make sure my kids are staying in and out of trouble. I check their grades all the time. So yes, I'm very involved in the school system just to get to know my players, but also check on kids that have moved on. There's been times that I've brought kids in my own home and kept them up all over the weekend and try to push them to be a better person and get out of the situation that they're living in and try to be a positive role model for them. But as I have been, and I'll continue to always send my kids to the public schools here.
Heather, same question.
I've not taught or not been a paid employee of Lebanon Special School District. I have volunteered as much as I possibly can. Of course, my daughter started during COVID, so that's when you can't volunteer as much because they had to limit so much. They could only let so many parents go in. So every time I got the opportunity, I was in there. I have. Last year, we got to surprise our girls with our Marine that came home, and the school system let us do that. That's probably one of our favorite memories of them in their classroom, and I know it's one of theirs. But as far as being an employee, I have not been an employee. I've spent most of my time, like I said, in healthcare or newspapers.
Thank you.
spouse has never worked for the school system. She has volunteered. There's plenty of opportunities to volunteer in the school system. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask the principals. They're more than happy to have any parent volunteer at any time. We've never had a problem with that. There's room mothers, there's support moms, all that type of stuff. She's done that. I've volunteered doing the same thing. We bought pizza. When they take TCAPs, we bought pizza for like whatever grade my kid was in. So my kid was in 5th grade. We bought pizza for the whole 5th grade. Same thing when we went to second, or my daughter was in 2nd grade or 3rd grade at the time. We bought pizza for that class. So we was always volunteering to give it back. Like I told you, I am a volunteer coach at Walter J. Baird. My kid moved on, and I'm still there coaching. Do I have to do that? No, it's because I enjoy it, and I enjoy working with children and want to see them reach their fullest potential.
Heather, have you, your spouse, or other family member ever held a position in our school district? If so, how will this impact your decision making?
My husband did substitute teach post-COVID when they were needing some substitute teachers. And then there was an EA position that he held for a couple of months. And then he is now a PhD student at Tribeca. And he's a counselor by therapist by trade. And that was kind of post-COVID, everything was getting back to normal. So now he is a private counselor. And he works for villages. I think that may impact me a little bit more than almost anything he's done. He worked with 70 youth here in Wilson County, and the stories that what he could tell me is with some of these children, you're right, need a lot of love. They need a lot of guidance. He was in a program. It was an intense family therapy program where he counseled with them 3 times a week. With the parent, or guardian, or grandmother. There were lots of families that don't look like the traditional family. They have grandparents or they have aunts and uncles. So I think that would probably impact me more than anything, the mental health aspect of what our children need. So I'd be thankful for that.
Heather, what is your level of education and professional experience? How do you feel you have this education and or experience to be helpful in your role as a school board member?
I'm a proud graduate of the University of Tennessee at Martin, go Skyhawks. And I have a degree in communications. My minor was actually in political science. And I have now been accepted for my MBA program, the master's program at Middle Tennessee State University. So I do think that my education plays a role into things. I want my children to see how important education is. So I hope I leave that example for our children. That's very important in our home. I think being an educated mom is something that not every mom has to give, and I'm very fortunate that I had the opportunity to attend UT Martin and get my degree, and hopefully that's a role model, like I said, for my girls. That's what I care about, and care about showing that girls can go to college and do big things.
Dusty, what is your level of education and professional experience? How do you feel this education and experience will be helpful in your role as a school board member?
I graduated Lebanon High School, and then had a baseball scholarship to go to Cumberland. I ended up tearing my knee up, and so I did end up playing at Cumberland. So then I went ahead and pursued a degree in real estate from Continual Learning Institute, like I told you earlier. And at the time, I was working with the Parks and Recreation Department here in Lebanon. And I found a love for working for children at that time. I started there when I was 16 years old, and I'm still there today. And it's because the love I have for the children and working with the families. We work with thousands and thousands of kids every year. We work with the parents every year. We have to look for coaches. We have to look for to help run the leagues that's around. I think David runs a football league, and I think we're about to start helping them to some capacity. We used to run the tackle football league, and they took it over several years ago, and we've gone to flag now, and I'm glad he did to some extent, because it's a lot of work, and he can attest for that. It's a lot to it. But when you're working with so many different demographics and different people, it can be tough. We're working with all aspects of children, all aspects of families, single moms, single dads, blended families. We're working with that constantly. And with my job, I have the experience working with kids and families and the community leaders to try and take care of the children. I have the resources and other things to do that. Just from my experience working with the recreation department, such as the Don Fox Community Park, it's a good outreach that people have for their children to come play and all that type of stuff. I'm responsible for all them places. So at the end of the day, we really try to take care of our children and work with the families the best we can.
Dusty, what experience do you have related to the management of budgets as large and as complex as Lebanon Special School District's budget?
All right. The budget for the Lebanon Special School District's around $46 million. Okay. What a lot of people don't know is a lot of that budget is set up for us by the state. All right. So there's only so much that you can tweak that budget to some extent. The director of schools and his people that work for him form the budget, and then they bring it to the board to approve the budget. We don't have to take our budget to the city council. We just have to send it to the state legislature. The county school system has to take theirs to the county commission and get it approved. So they have a big hurdle. So we really have a good advantage there, not having to do all that type of stuff. As far as managing our budgets, I've always managed my personal finances really well. I've not had any problems. I try to pay my bills on time and all that type of stuff. But on the other hand, we run a $2.5–3 million budget from our department at the recreation department. So I have plenty of experience in budgeting, because all the time it's cut. So you have to really budget your budget to do that. I've built 3 softball fields, 3 soccer fields, 3 parks since I've been there. We've built 2 baseball fields, and now we're also building a $17 million soccer complex out of 231 that will have soccer and football. And then eventually we're going to add the other, which is going to be somewhere between 28 and 35 million to build more baseball and softball fields and parks. And I'm in the top group of that's making the decisions on some of that stuff. So yes, I do have experience in managing big budgets from the government side as well, taxpayer money. So I do have the experience, and I'm not for raising taxes at this time, because Lebanon Special School District has a separate tax. It's just for our schools. So at this time, I'm not for raising any taxes. We will manage our money to the best of our ability.
Heather, what experience do you have related to the management of budgets as large and as complex as Lebanon Special School Districts?
So probably what I didn't tell everybody at the very beginning of this is my parents owned a few Dairy Queens in West Tennessee. I've been working on payroll since probably I was 16, which is real interesting when you go to school with the same people you're cutting paychecks with. That was a whole different perspective, but it's a family-run business. I did that all through college. That's pretty. You're in the weeds when you're taking orders and going to pay all the inventory and pay all of the taxes and everything. So, but I've also in my professional career, I've built 2 assisted living buildings with a company started from ground up, and one of them was a renovation up. Let me say that the ground up was a little bit easier. So I've done budgets with that, worked with the state with all the fire codes, came back to budgets because you had to redo. So I've done all of that. I've also done operating budgets on both of those facilities. And, that included all the revenue that had to come in, and if we had to raise things or what could we do. My biggest thing is I want to be a good steward with the taxpayer dollars. Being a steward is doing the right thing, and the right thing with the money. One thing I can tell you that I want to bring a little bit more transparency to the budget. The budget for Lebanon Special School District was passed in under 4 minutes, and it was $45.9 million. It's under 4 minutes that nobody really questioned anything, and the whole meeting was like 33 minutes. I went back to double check my stats on that. So I think that although there's a lot of people looking at it, I think the board could ask more questions to make sure we're being good stewards with that money.
Heather, will you be willing to make Lebanon Special School District budget available online in the name of transparency? Why or why not?
Absolutely. I think making that transparent as possible is what that's really what I want. I want more things. I've dug a whole lot. I've been to a lot of the meetings. A lot of it isn't as transparent, and I want that. Hence, I just said $45.9 million in 4 minutes was approved. I know that each of us deal with our finances at home with our own families, and we do a budget meeting in our house once a week just to check, and it lasts more than 30 minutes. So I think the more transparency. I've never said, nor do I believe that things we're not doing the best we can, but in the level of when you're dealing with taxpayer dollars, those are your dollars. I think transparency is needed, wanted, and warranted.
Dusty, would you be willing to make Lebanon Special School District's budget available online in the name of transparency? Why or why not?
Well, absolutely. That's not a problem at all. As if you don't already know any kind of government tax money budgets or whatever, they have to present them. It's public record. All you got to do is request, and they have to show you the budgets. That's fine if you want to put it online. I have no problem with that being transparent. Like I say, I've been in the government so long that I know a lot about how that works. So it's always all available. All you got to do is ask. Sometimes we don't ask the questions that we need to ask, but I'll be transparent about anything. Anybody wants to see, they can come see, look at my personal finances as far as I'm concerned, and check me out if they want to. But I would never misappropriate money, never have and never will. Especially when it's dealing with tax dollars for children. Who would take away from the children at the end of the day? We all want what's best for our children, and we're all going to do our best to spend money that we see appropriate for our children and to make sure our teachers are took care of as well as staff.
Dusty, why do you want to be elected to the Lebanon Special School District Board?
I want to be elected to keep our community of excellence like we have always had. A lot of times there's drama and chaos. I'm not a drama and chaos type person. I hold a high integrity. I try to do everything with class. I don't try petty stuff. I try to do everything first class like I would want it for myself. And if elected to the board, I'm here to support everyone. Not just because you live on the west side of town don't mean I'm not going to support the people on the east side of town. I'm here to support everyone. Parents, teachers are very important to me. I want to take care of them as well. Teachers have a tough job. I really don't see how the teachers put up with some of the stuff they put up with these days. They have one of the toughest jobs. They're never paid enough. But that being said, the safety is another concern like I talked about. I want to keep our kids safe. That's always a fear of mine, is our kids not being safe. Make sure they get the education, continue with the teacher raises, and love on these children. I will do whatever I can to love on these children. It's not about me, everybody. It's about our children and our future. Our world is wild right now, to say the least, but we need to take care of our children and do it with love. And some of you may not know, the Lebanon Special School District members as of right now the school board members do not get paid. I will never vote to get paid as a Lebanon Special School District board member. Never. So you can put that down, you can record it or whatever. I will never vote to get paid. I believe in giving back to our community, take our money that could be paid to us, spend it on the kids and teachers. Okay, I want to do a community service and give back to the community I love.
Heather, why do you want to be elected to the Lebanon Special School District Board?
I want to be elected because I want to give back to my community. And I have a huge vested interest with my girls. I want to be elected because I believe I can bring a different perspective to our school board. I believe a mom brings a different perspective. I've heard the word chaos so much during this election that I can tell you that chaos lives around us. It's how we deal with the chaos that matters. And there's just some unavoidable chaos in the world. And I've dealt with a lot of it in my own life with things in our family that, healthcare issues. And yeah, you're right. These kids come from a lot of chaos. It's how we deal with it and how we turn it around into caring for them and doing the right thing. I care about Lebanon. I care about our kids. I care about my kids. I'm in it just because I have a servant heart, and that's really the truth.
Heather, if elected, what do you see as your 3 highest priorities as a school board member? Please list in order of importance.
Number one, I would definitely say communication, transparency. I think that the board, we need to strive to be more transparent with budgets, transparent with everything we're doing. One of the best examples I can give you from districts down is we got a new principal at our elementary school, and we didn't even get an introductory email of who that principal was. That to me is just a lack of communication. With the first email we got was from the principal that said he needed EAs, and did we know anybody that was looking? Now, I know staffing, and I work in healthcare, so of course I know that's needed. But that's what I mean by communication. I mean, let's get up, let's tell our story. We have a good story to tell here in Lebanon, and I just don't think we're doing a good enough job to tell that story. We do a lot of good things. I want to communicate those good things. I want to be the storyteller. I want to get out in front of the stories before they're on Facebook or before they're anywhere else. That's what I mean by communication. I would also say, of course, the budget is, I want to be a good steward. I make no qualms about that. I want to be a good steward with what we're given. That's one of the important things, and that includes making sure our teachers get paid and get paid well. They need the resources to do their job and do their job well. My sister's a 6th grade math teacher in West Tennessee, and man, they have a hard job. And I want to make sure that, Lebanon's teachers are paid well, but I want to continue to pay them well. Currently, right now, Lebanon is, I think we said, let me make sure I'm right, we are second highest paid, beginning paid teachers, and we're 15th on the average. I think that's great. That's how we're keeping teachers. So that would be very important to me to stay. Also for the school board, that'd be one of my top 2. And then also I would say my time's up.
Dusty, what are your 3 highest priorities as a school board member? Please list them in order of importance.
First of all, safety. I cannot strive enough for safety in these schools. We have the SROs in our schools. We have a metal detector one now that we're passing around to our schools. I like to see metal detectors in all the schools. We bought a dog named Blaze. We have an officer that carries him around to the schools to check for firearms or explosives or stuff like that. And he's a friendly dog. I would like, one day we may have to get to that point. Might come to a day where we have to have 2 SROs in the middle schools. So continue to drive safety to protect our teachers and our students so they can get the best education possible. I told you earlier, education's my second thing. Continue with our education to make sure they get the best education. And again, you have to feel safe to be able to sit down and study in our school system. So that's number 2. 3 is the teacher raises. We're 16th out of 143 counties or 143 school districts. So we're 15 out of 143 districts. That's pretty impressive coming from a small town to be up there like that. The county is way below where we are at. So we're doing really well at that state. Number two is starting teacher pay. Also, for our teachers, we have a sick clinic they can go to. So that helps our teachers be able to take their family there. They get the school board voted them to give them extra personal day this past time. So we got to continue to find ways to help our teachers out in any way possible and retain our teachers. And I truly believe we have some of the best teachers around who truly, truly love our kids and want what is the best for our kids. So just continue those things, and then, like I can't say it enough, just love on our children. That's it.
I think we kind of touched on this one or with your last statement, Dusty. How do you feel about the Lebanon Special School District Board voting to increase teacher wages each year? Is this a top priority?
Absolutely. The teachers here, the Lebanon Special School District, have received a raise the last 30 years. 30 years. You do not hear that of any other districts. So our district is doing the right thing. They're taking care of our teachers. And we want to continue to do that. I will always vote. Any way possible, we will find a way to pay our teachers. Whatever we have to do. I will always say teachers are never paid enough. Teachers, administrators, and look, it's not just teachers. You've got school bus drivers, you've got educational assistants, you've got cafeteria workers. There's a whole lot goes in to the school system. And we have to continue to be near the top at all possible to take care of our teachers and show that they are appreciated. I know that there's several appreciation things that are done for them throughout the year. They buy coffee sometimes. They have drinks and food trucks and all that stuff. We love on our teachers and administrators as well.
Heather, how do you feel about the Lebanon Special School District Board voting to increase teacher wages each year? Is this a top priority?
Absolutely, it's a top priority. We want to keep and retain good teachers. We also want to attract new teachers. Lebanon Special School District pays, like we've said, 15th in the state, and then also second on starting teachers. So we're doing a really good job, but also we have to realize we're also 10% higher than Wilson County pays, and we're in the heart of Wilson County. We're the county seat. So that's impressive that we've done that and that they've been able to do that. I will strive my hardest to make sure our teachers get paid every year an increase.
Heather, what are your thoughts on pay for educational assistants? Should they be hourly or salaried?
There's some federal guidelines on hourly and salary. We've had to, in healthcare, we've had to deal with some of that, whether they're hourly or salary. So I think you have to follow your federal guidelines on that to make sure you're within the law of that.
Dusty, educational assistants, what are your thoughts on their pay? Should they be hourly or salaried?
Again, I think there's some state guidelines on all that type of stuff, so we have to kind of do what the state tells you on that type money. Educational assistants vary on what task they do. Some people like hourly jobs because if they work extra, they get overtime. Sometimes some people like salary because they feel like they have more freedom to do what they want sometimes. But overall, I would just like to sit down and look at it and see what we can and can't do with our educational assistants. But I'm for whatever is best to retain those educational assistants.
Dusty, what role do you believe PTA/PTO should play in our schools? What specific ideas do you have to increase parent involvement and support in our schools?
All right, I know this is a big topic, PTOs and PTAs and all that type of stuff. The PTOs and PTAs have not really been took out of the schools completely. Any school can start a PTO or PTA. There's guidelines that you have to have. You have to go talk to the principal and see if they want it, okay? If the principal decides he wants it, he or she, to do a PTO, you've got to have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary in order to have a PTO. If you do the PTO, the school manages the money, the principal must approve the money for it to be spent, but you've got to have all this set up every time you do something. A lot of problem we have where I work, where I'm dealing with the community and trying to find coaches and stuff. Everybody wants to help, but when it comes time to be the president or the vice president, treasurer, or secretary, sometimes that role's hard to find. So that's one thing that you have to really look at, and then you're going to have turnover every couple of years because the kids moving on to the next school. Okay. With that being said, there's been problems in the past, and this is the reason the principals have to approve the money now. People, unfortunately, have stole money off PTOs and stuff like that before. You also can have a student organization, student parent organization that's separate from a PTO where you manage the money, but also it has to be set up with a 501(c), and you still have to have a president, a vice president, treasurer, and secretary. Now, you manage the money, but you're also going to be, like I said, audited, and you're going to have to set up that 501(c), and that's not cheap. So you really have to dialogue everything that you're doing and set forth. But no, I'm not against it, but it's a lot more work than you think. I promise you, if you go to the school, if you really want to volunteer and help, go to your principal at your school, tell them you want to volunteer. I've never had a principal turn me down for any volunteer work. So I encourage you as a parent, if you want to volunteer, go ask your principal, what can I do to volunteer here?
Okay, guys, we're running short on time, so we're going to try to get through as many of these questions as we can. Okay, keep that in mind when answering. What role do you believe PTOs, PTAs should play in our school? What specific ideas do you have to increase parent involvement and support our schools?
Well, I believe just because it's hard doesn't mean we don't do it. I believe that PTAs and PTOs play a vital role. I was the mom that went to the principal to ask. I was the mom that asked, hey, how can we do this? And was told they're not active. So I have tried that route. And I've talked to several other moms or parents that have. We have some incredible parents in our district. I'm sure plenty of you've seen them on Facebook. Hey, we're going to do breakfast for teachers for teacher appreciation. Here's my Venmo. So they're kind of being done, but they're being done one-offs, and they're being done with one parent. So I sure appreciate that those parents that have done that. But I know I came from a district that had a really strong PTA, PTO. My sister works in a district that has a very strong PTO. Just because it's hard doesn't mean we don't do it. I think if we have parents that want to do it, I think we should rally around those and make that happen. Of course, a lot of times in the elementary schools, you have your PTOs, and then your middle schools, you have your more sports organizations that do a lot of things. But I think if you put it out there for parents, this is a very giving city. I think if you put it out there for parents and say, hey, we want to do this, we're going to start doing this, and you give us a goal, like ask the teachers what they need. I also think PTOs can come in and help with like the carnivals and the STEM nights. Those teachers are there really late doing that. I know we just had a run this past semester, and those teachers are sitting there doing that. Let some of the parents do that, and I think that's where your PTA or PTO, however we want to move forward, go through with it. So if they're existent, they're not existent to the fact that when I've asked to get them. That's why I've made it such a priority on my platform.
All right. Heather, what are your thoughts and plans in regards to Lebanon Special School District recruiting and retaining bus drivers?
I'm in an industry that is very driven to recruit as well, in healthcare, whether it's CNAs, nurses, those type of things. So I've seen a lot of creative ways to get employees. I think they've done a pretty good job. I think you have to really get down to the level of what can we do to be creative to have schedules for bus drivers that works for them. Bus drivers is a hard job. You get up early, you work for a couple hours, you come home, you do something else, and then you go back out. So I think one of the things Lebanon Special School District has done well is they offer the assistance on the bus to help those bus drivers, and their pay is pretty well. But I do think we're going to have to get a little creative to make sure that we we keep those filled, and then we make sure we have, we call it in healthcare a big PRM pool. So you have a pool of people that you can call. So I wonder, and I don't know this, I'd have to ask the transportation director, is how fully stocked is that pool of people, and what can we do to make that better?
Dusty, what are your thoughts and plans in regard to Lebanon Special School District recruiting and retaining bus drivers?
Like I say, we pay our bus drivers well. They don't have very long routes that they have to drive every day compared to some other district around. The county school bus drivers some of them are driving double routes, which can make for a long day. All our buses have an assistant on them who handles all the discipline on the bus. So that helps the driver know that he or she does not have to deal with the discipline at the end of the day. That means a lot to that bus driver. So again, that bus driver can focus on the safety and delivering our students. Continue to pay them well. They make over $100 and something a day generally. So always appreciate them pay-wise, provide them what they need, and they are an employee of the district. So if they want to go to the sick clinic or whatever, they more than welcome to do that too, to care of their family. So we got some attractive ways. The county don't have a educational assistant or assisted on the bus to monitor the buses. They've got cameras on them too. So all that type of stuff helps. So if I was a bus driver and I knew that I wasn't gonna have to do with no discipline enough and just drive, that's gonna be an attractive thing for me. But like all our other staff, bus drivers as well, whatever we have to do to retain them, I'm for it.
Dusty, in your list of intentions for running for the school board, you mentioned ensuring a robust and engaging curriculum is available for our students and teachers. Can you elaborate and clarify the statement? You also stated this election isn't about me. It's about protecting the kids, teachers, and parents of Lebanon Special School District. How will electing you protect the parents of Lebanon Special School District?
Well, on the curriculum, ensuring they have a robust and engaging curriculum, a lot of the stuff is at a state level that we are presented. We have to do our best job getting the information to the teachers in order to get it out. Every year that my child has been through the schools, at the beginning of every year, we get a thing from the teacher that shows what they're going to be learning every 9 weeks. So it's really broke down every 9 weeks on what our students going to do throughout the whole year. So we got to continue to do that, find new ways to make learning fun. I think is very important. And always like I keep saying, I know I've kind of repeated myself, it takes all of us for this education. We all have to contribute. We as parents also can't expect the teachers to do it all. We have to do our part too. We have to step up and help our children as well. Yeah, the election's not about me. I continue to say that. It's about the children. Protect the parents, okay? I protect the parents in any way for them. If you're a parent of a kid in the Lebanon Special School District and you want to come have a conversation with me about anything, if you'll come and have an adult conversation with me, don't come screaming and yell at me. I'll sit down with anybody. We'll go have lunch. I don't drink coffee, but if you want to go have a cup of coffee, I'll drink water or something. But I'm easy to find. I'm always available. You're never going to send me an email or a phone call or come find me that I won't talk to you as long as you talk to me civilized. So just, I'm here to listen to you, and I will take account no matter if I agree with you or not. I'm going to listen to you. So feel free to come see me anytime. I'm not hard to find. I'm always at the ballpark or somewhere in this city. So all you got to do is ask around. You'll find me.
Heather, concerns have risen about your associations with certain individuals and groups. Are you affiliated in any way with Moms for Liberty, and does your platform align with their mission? If so, how?
I'm so glad that question was asked, so I can be very clear and upfront about that. I am not a part of Moms for Liberty. I am not a member. I haven't been to a meeting. I did look at something on Facebook of theirs, and along with like 247 other groups. I liked my late husband's submarine group, and I'm not a submariner. But I do think as I'm not a member, but I do want to listen to all constituents. I think I think just like anybody, they have a voice, and I think you should listen to them and listen to see where that falls in alignment with things. So no, I'm not a member. I'm a mom, but I'm not a member of Moms for Liberty. Thank you for letting me clarify that.
Heather, how do you envision the Lebanon Special School District School Board handling opposition to books within our school libraries if oppositions were to arise?
You know, Lebanon Special School District has done a wonderful job of keeping the books. They're already scrubbed through a database. So they've already kind of taken those steps. We have not had that issue. Of course, the book issue has been an issue a whole lot more for the high schools. So we're fortunate in Lebanon Special School District that we don't have that issue because we don't have a high school. So I would tell you that we're doing a really, really good job of keeping those. I think books need to be age appropriate. They need to be age appropriate for whatever age that they're available to the children. And I also think that, you know, parents do have rights to know what's in there. Parents have rights to know what's there. I think Lebanon's done a really good job of scrubbing it, but I think parents, if they want to ask, they have a right to ask that.
Dusty, how do you envision the Lebanon Special School District School Board handling the opposition to books within our school libraries if opposition were to arise?
I know this continues to be a big topic with the books and all that stuff, but Lebanon Special School District already has the policy in place. There's 3 tiers that you go through. If anybody, parent, somebody on the outside, teacher, student, or whatever, has a problem, all they have to do is take it forth before the principal. Then there's a review board that they have. It's made up of principals, librarians, teachers, some parents, and some staff. They review it. The principal gives their recommendation to the director, and he either goes with their opinion or not. If the person don't like what the tier 1 is, they can go to tier 2. The director will do his review, going off what others have done, and then they'll discuss that. And then the director will give his decision on his own personal note. And then if they don't like that, we can go to tier 3, and they'll take all the information and present it before the board to see if the board thinks it should be. So there's several steps already in place for the books. Again, we're only through middle school, so we don't really have that problem a whole lot, thankfully. But you're never going to hide from all these bad things that some people are saying in books. Some people say they're good. I have no opinion either way. I'm not for taking all books out of school, but they do need to be age appropriate. But I will tell you this, all these kids have these phones, and they can pull up anything on that phone that's in that book. So just note that. Our district will never push a book on anybody. They never have. If you don't agree with that book, you tell the teacher or principal, and they'll find an alternative for you on that.
Dusty, what are your thoughts on student-to-teacher ratios and the ever-growing Tennessee teacher shortage, and what, if anything, the board can do to address these issues?
Well, there's state guidelines to that on how the student-teacher ratio. I think it's like 25-to-1 in the elementary, and it kind of goes up from there for the middle school. I like to see low teacher ratio. Ideally, my thing would be like 18 students for a teacher, especially in the elementary level. They have a hard job. We've just got to find ways to help with that. Unfortunately, we've had a mad rush of people that's moved in here within the last few years because people are not happy in other parts of the country. Lebanon's a good place to live, right? So they're all moving here. All right. So we've got to adapt to that and continue to grow our teacher staff. But I think we're always trying to we will helpers to try to, but no, I'm very for the small teacher student ratios in any way possible.
Heather, what are your thoughts on student to teacher ratios and the ever-growing Tennessee teacher shortage, and what, if anything, can the board do to address these issues?
So currently, Lebanon's student to teacher ratio in LSSD is 14-1. The state average is 20-1. So we're 6 below what the state average is. We're doing a pretty good job at that. Now, we need to continue what we're doing. We need to strive for, more teachers to make sure we keep that low. Now, I'm going to just be honest, apples to apples is we don't have high school in here. So we are lower because we don't have a high school when some districts have high school where those classes are bigger. So we have that little bit of luxury to show that we have a lower student to teacher ratio, but also we're number 2 in the state on beginning wages for teachers. What an awesome way to recruit teachers. And Lebanon it's a great place to be. And I think we just have to tell our story once again. It's a good story to tell, to be a part of.
I think if we keep the answer short on this one, we should have time for one more. Heather, why should parents and teachers vote for you?
I think parents and teachers should vote for me because I think I bring a different perspective. The seat I'm running for has had the same person in it for 34 years, and as much as I appreciate that long servant tenure, I think some new blood and some new eyes and some new ears is a good thing. I want to be a part of this community. I'm here to serve and be a servant, and that's why I think people should vote for me.
Dusty, why should parents and teachers vote for you?
We as parents want good role models and mentors for our children. So in the 28 years that I worked closely with children and family as a coach, mentor, and friend, I've seen more and more young people who need adults in their lives in a meaningful way. And that's what I want to continue to do. The teachers, if you're out there listening, know that I will always have your back. As long as you're doing the right thing, I will always have your back. I'll go to bat for you 10-1. The students, I'm going to continue to love on the students like I always have. So I'll ask for your vote to please vote for me because you know who I am. I'm an honest person. I have integrity and I have class. I'm not for any petty stuff. I'm all about the kids, take care of the teachers and all the staff, and I work for them. And I will be a new voice for the parents. I'm a younger guy. I'm very involved in the community. Come see me. We'll figure it out.
Awesome. Dusty and Heather, I want to say thank you for your time here tonight. Thank you for coming and answering these questions. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, mainstream media, for streaming it. Thank you, Winfrey Bryant, for having us. And everyone, be safe going home. Every question that wasn't answered or that we didn't have time for, the response will be posted on the Facebook Lebanon Special School District page by February 26th. They'll be emailed to the candidates so that they can answer it. We believe all the submitted questions are important, and it's our responsibility to make sure they get fully answered. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, guys.